Some people like to keep a top 10 or a top 25 as their main go-to list. For me, it's the top 50. That's the gold standard. When I get off a ride, I like to think if it's top 50 worthy or not. At the end of each year, this is the list that I put together to showcase the best of the best. But what about that next tier? Top 100 is still inside the top 23% of all coasters I've ridden, so there are still some excellent rides on here. And today, I'm gonna give them some love. These are the coasters ranked between 100 and 51. One disclaimer here. I'm gonna throw out any new additions to my 2020 list. As of the time that I'm making this video, there are 2 coasters that have broken into my top 50, but none have fallen between 51 and 100. So I'm gonna look at this second tier based on my 2019 list, meaning the first 2 coasters on my list have now officially exited my top 100. And that number 100 coaster is Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This was as high as number 35 at the end of 2017, but it's been outclassed by a lot of the new stuff that I've been on. I think this has an excellent first half and a boring second half. But as the only wooden coaster at my home park, I still enjoy riding this, and it's one of my go-to rides at the park. At number 99 is another GCI, Prowler at Worlds of Fun. At first, I thought this was super overrated when I got my first 2 rides. It ran slow, it was rough, and it pretty much had no airtime. I'm glad I came back in the afternoon once it warmed up. Those 2 rides were much better, and they showed me the true potential of this ride. I still haven't gotten a night ride, but one day I'll make it a point to do it. Number 98 is another Woody. This one a CCI, Raven at Holiday World. This was in my top 10 as recently as 2015, but it dropped to number 34 in 2017, and has fallen a lot since. It really has not held up well over time, but it still offers a wild, out-of-control experience through the woods, with some great airtime moments, but it really could use some more retracking. Last time I rode it, it was hard to take for more than one ride. Number 97 is the first steel coaster on this list, Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. I was not overly impressed with this new mock multi-launch coaster when I rode it a couple weeks after it opened, but it was in the morning and it was in the rain. By all accounts, I did not ride this at the best time, so one day I'll get back to Carowinds and I'll give it another shake. Number 96 is an old favorite, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Orlando. This is a polarizing coaster, and it seems to be one that gets more hate than love. I have not ridden this since 2012, so I don't know how it's aged, but I had this as high as number 45 in 2017, and it's still hanging on to a top 100 spot, but I do need to rewrite it. Number 95 is Timber Terror at Silverwood. I heard this just got rid of its buzz bars in favor of PTC lap bars, which is really unfortunate. The buzz bars really made this ride fun, especially in the first half. After that first drop, it has a great run of airtime hills before it turns around and the ride kinda dies. It would be much higher if it could keep up that great first half. Number 94 is the first of 2 Dollywood coasters, Tennessee Tornado. This was our only look into Aerodynamics' new generation looping coaster, and it was fantastic. I love everything about this coaster. I just wish there was more of it to love. It seems to end right when it's getting started, but what it has is so good that it cracks this list. Number 93 is the other Dollywood coaster, the GCI Thunderhead. This is a classic GCI layout. Fast, out of control, laterals, with decent pops of floater airtime. It runs a little rough, but it's nothing too bad for a 16-year-old coaster. I like this a lot more after my first ride in 2016, and it ranked at number 30 in 2017. I was a lot less impressed with my 2019 rides, and I dropped it down into the 90s. Number 92 is Manta at SeaWorld Orlando. I know it's been cloned, but it opened up with an original layout, and it's without a doubt the second best B&M flying coaster in the US. With the signature element being that low swooping turn over the water that really kicks off a strong finale with all of those low to the ground elements. Number 91 is Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa. I was wondering how an Intamin multi-launch blitz coaster with an inversion could be considered a family coaster, but after riding it, I immediately said, yeah, it's kind of a family coaster. But it's so unique and so much fun, I still rank it pretty high. Number 90 is Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. It may be pretty forceless, but it's so pretty that I'll give it a pass. I think it may serve as a better decoration than a thrill ride. That being said, it's still a long and fun ride, with amazing near-miss elements through and around the keyholes. Into the 80s, I'm gonna combine number 89 and number 88, and that's Aftershock at Silverwood and Deja Vu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. These are clones of each other, and they use the same original Vekoma trains. Aftershock was originally at Six Flags Great America, and Deja Vu moved to Six Flags New England in 2012, but it's a completely different ride now with those horrible 4-across Premier trains. But I still have sweet memories of it when it was new, and Aftershock is the only thing still out there that I've ridden that takes me back to that experience. Number 87 is Incredicoaster at Disney's California Adventure. I know it's a family coaster and it has a weak layout, but it's one of the longest coasters in the world, and it has some great drops, a decent launch, a loop, and it just never ends. It's an epic and iconic ride, even if it's not the most thrilling, and it was as high as number 41 as of 2017. Number 86 is the Incredible Hulk at Islands of Adventure. I rode this in 2012 before the track ripped itself apart and was replaced, so I don't have recent experience with it, but I remember it being a fun and unique ride with a partially launched lift. Number 85 is my favorite Schwarzkopf, Shockwave at Six Flags Over Texas. This might be the most hidden coaster in the world. Nobody knows how to get to it, but it's awesome. I don't know of too many other coasters that pull positive and negative G's this strong. Number 84 is Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. I was pretty hyped for this, thinking it could be as epic as Cannibal, and after my first ride on opening day, I was pretty disappointed. It's still a great supporting coaster, and it's a perfect fit for the plot of land that it's on. It's just not my favorite kind of ride. Number 83 is Switchback at ZDT's. The world's only shuttle wooden coaster is a work of art by the Gravity Group in a park that has no business having a coaster, let alone a coaster this good. They had no space to work with and managed to build a ride that packs a punch. This maxed out at my number 49 spot in 2017. Number 82 is Talon at Dorney Park. This was one of the better inverts when I rode it in 2008. I ranked it as high as number 47 in 2017, and now I pretty much see it as a middle-of-the-road invert. Number 81 is Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America. Even though this has a weird layout, it has some great speed and a few airtime moments. Definitely the star of its park. I ranked it as high as number 24 in 2017, but my 2019 rides weren't quite as good, so I dropped it. Number 80 and number 79 is technically the same coaster. It's Batman Night Flight at Six Flags Worlds of Adventure and Dominator at King's Dominion. The same coaster in two places. I really enjoyed my 2018 rides on this as the world's longest floorless. I think it has a great layout and it gives King's Dominion a really good supporting coaster. Number 78 is the first of two Hershey Park coasters, Great Bear. I love weird coasters, and this one fits that bill. They crammed this into the hollow section of the park, which has some really cool near-miss elements with everything around it, and I walked away very impressed. Number 77 is the other Hershey Park coaster, Fahrenheit. When you combine a B&M Looper with a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, you get this Intamin 7 inversion coaster. I guess it combines the best of both worlds, and since I like weird, I thought pretty highly of Fahrenheit. Number 76 is Boulder Dash at Lake Compounce. I had this on my bucket list, and I'm very grateful that I had the chance to ride it. But the ride itself was rough and it lacked airtime despite having a great setting on the mountain. So major points for the use of terrain, but it loses points for the ride experience. Number 75 is Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. By far the best flying coaster that I've ever ridden. It takes place so high on the top of Magic Mountain that it feels like you're really flying. And if you like high intensity moments, just wait for that pretzel loop. This was in my top 50 as recently as 2017 at number 28. Number 74 is just down the path at Magic Mountain, West Coast Racers. This ride got a lot of hate when it was announced, but it's surprisingly forceful and it's a lot of fun. Plus, you get to ride both sides, which makes it a long ride and worth the wait. Number 73 and number 72 are a pair of clones, Mr. Freeze at Six Flags Over Texas and St. Louis. This is absolutely one of the most intense coasters that I've ridden, with three cool elements: a backwards launch, an inverted top hat, and a backwards vertical spike. It may be short, but it's great, and the Over Texas version was in my 2017 top 50 at number 38. Number 71 is Chinese Fireball at Islands of Adventure, a coaster that was removed in 2017, which is such a shame because it was awesome, interacting with the blue side, which did not make my top 100. And these two Dueling Dragons are the only two B&Ms that have met the scrapyard. Number 70 is another defunct coaster, Volcano at King's Dominion. It was the first inverted launch coaster. It fired you vertically out of the volcano and into an inversion, and then wrapped around the whole volcano with a bunch of inline twists. A really fun ride, and it was in my 2017 top 50 at number 47. Number 69 is a coaster that still exists, Ravine Flyer 2 at Waldameer. I think if it had timberliners, it would be higher on my list because you could avoid getting stapled. The airtime is really strong. It also has great terrain. It just wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Number 68 and 67 all combine because they're the same exact ride. Firehawk at Kings Island and X-Flight at Six Flags World of Adventure. If you saw my list of favorite defunct coasters, this topped the list. X-Flight used to be a top 10 coaster, and as of 2017, I had these ranked at number 33 and 32. So they've dropped, but still impressive that an old school Vekoma is this high. Number 66 is probably my most controversial ranking, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. I think it's fine for what it is, a speed and intensity machine, but it's just not the type of ride that I would rank high on my list. But I still enjoyed all 4 of my rides, even though I thought its one trick was kind of boring. Number 65 is Comet at Hershey Park, which will probably trigger a lot of people that this old classic Woody is higher than I-305. But I thought this was a lot of fun and it had a ton of airtime. Plus, I rode this right after an awful ride on Skyrush, so I appreciated it even more. Number 64 is the tallest coaster in the world, Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure. Even though I have Accelerator near my house and it has a better launch, there's something to say about 128 miles per hour. That just feels different, and it's worth the price of admission. And this was in my top 50 as of 2017 at number 29. Number 63 is Afterburn at Carowinds. The highest ranked B&M invert that doesn't make my top 50 is this short but intense ride. I can see why this is some people's favorite invert, but it just needs a little bit more length for me to put it up with the top 3 in my top 50. Number 62 is Wicked at Lagoon. This Zero Tower coaster is just pure fun. From the amazing launch up the tower, to the vertical drop on the other side, and then the zero-G roll. The rest of the ride is pretty much filler, but I was very impressed that Lagoon has a coaster like this. I had it as high as number 31 after I rode it in 2017. Number 61 is Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. I've been fascinated with this ever since it opened in 2000, and I finally got to ride it in 2017, and I was not disappointed. It does run a little rough, but it's a very long ride, and it jumps on and off the quarry wall. I had this as high as number 42 back in 2017. Number 60 is Stormrunner at Hershey Park. This is actually the highest ranked coaster in the park. I didn't love the restraints, but the rest of the ride was great. It has the top hat that every good accelerator coaster needs. But then it has 2 other inversions before the brake run, which are way better than Accelerator's overbanks. I was impressed, and it's too bad that it's down for the year. Number 59 is Gemini at Cedar Point, a ride that just keeps climbing up on my list. It's old and it has a simple layout, but it has great airtime, and the park has done a great job keeping it running smooth. Number 58 is Ride of Steel at Six Flags Darien Lake. This is the same ride as Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America, but I thought this one ran a lot better. It also had regular T-bars, not the ones with the annoying bars on each side of your legs. Plus, since it was the original, the layout makes a lot more sense with the lake setting. Number 57 is SheiKra at Busch Gardens Tampa, a B&M dive coaster that has a pair of vertical drops, great airtime, and a splashdown. I thought this one was really rough, which is why it's my lowest ranked dive coaster. Number 56 is Mindblower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. This coaster's layout and forces are amazing. It just runs really rough despite being new. I rode it when it was a year old, and it started to wear me down. But it was so great that I put up with the roughness. Number 55 is Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. Even though it's smaller than the other accelerators, this one has by far the best launch. 0 to 82 miles per hour in 2.3 seconds. The launch and the airtime over the top hat makes this a great ride, and it was last in my top 50 as of 2017 at number 36. Number 54 is Griffon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I loved it when I rode it in 2008, and I finally got back on it in 2019, and my opinion did not change. It's a smoother ride than SheiKra, and it has an extra inversion, so it gets the edge. It was in my top 50 back in 2017 at number 44. Number 53 is Thunderbird at Holiday World. This has been hanging around my top 50 from the first time I rode it in 2016, coming in at number 40 back in 2017, and only slipping a few spots back to number 53. It's by far the best wing coaster in the US, and maybe the world. The last 2 coasters here were in my top 50 as of 2018, so you may have seen them on that video that I posted almost 2 years ago. Number 52 is Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point, a ride that's awesome for what it is, but it's just over too quick to lift it up to a higher ranking. Finally, number 51 is Mystery Mine at Dollywood, the last coaster out of my top 50 as of the end of last year. I've had amazing and not so great rides on this, but I said I like weird, and this ride is definitely weird. Throw in vertical drops and a great finale, and you have a great all-around ride. That's it for the second tier of my coaster list. I wanted to give some love to these awesome coasters that weren't quite top 50 worthy, so hopefully today I gave them some justice. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.